Good evening everyone, Mike Palmer from Know Your Rights Group and Success Coaching International with another important live video update. Now tonight's going to be a little bit shorter, a little bit sharper, and really hopefully something to get people thinking. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to read out a post that's been put up on Facebook on our Know Your Rights Group by one of our long-term members and actually a good friend of mine, because it really does clearly point out the insanity of the last few months. So please think about this as I read this out. This is what it says. Do you ever just look back at the last 4 months and scratch your head? Like, how the hell did they convince the world to socially distance, mask up, have no funerals, forcibly homeschool while still taxing us for public education, stay in our homes, scare the living daylights out of people with fake news, forfeit income and personal businesses, snitch on our friends and neighbours, hate each other, hug grandparents through plastic, race bait us, and thoroughly have us on the verge of civil war with each other. And to then turn around and tell us that most of all of that is nixed and completely negated if we want to protest, riot, or loot the businesses that are already on the brink of bankruptcy, destroy our cities, defund our police, set everything on fire, turn black against white and vice versa, all the while we're allegedly at a massive risk of a deadly virus that can be diagnosed without any actual official testing. Even though it's a super dangerous thing, okay, that the things that actually keep us healthy and keep our immune system in tip-top condition, such as health food, supplement shops, gyms, health facilities, chiropractic centres, many health services, elective medicine, outdoor activities, and even parks are all taken away. But cigarettes, alcohol, fast food, they are all deemed essential services. What the hell is this world that we're living in now? And why are so many people complying? I really want you to think about those posts, okay, about those points in that post, sorry. Go back and watch this video again and just think about those points. It is absolute insanity. Now, while those points are sinking in and while you're hopefully sitting there nodding, going, yeah, how did they get away with that? Okay, they got away with it because we were complacent. We allowed them to get away with it. We didn't stop and we didn't think critically and consciously and say, no, this is not right. Something is very wrong here, and I, for one, am going to stand up and do something about it, and I'm going to encourage my fellow men and women to also stand up and do something about it as well. That's what I want you to hopefully start thinking about during this video. And then once you started to get your head around a little bit of that, I want you to really start thinking that if the government has managed, or the governments of the world have managed to deceive the entire planet so incredibly well in just a mere few months, imagine for just a moment all the other areas that they have lied to you and deceived you over the past years and decades. Okay? Things like what are covered in this Aussie speeding fines book. The endless list of flaws and faults with so-called accurate speed detection devices used as a tool to simply extract money from motorists. That's it. Okay, what about the lies that they try and tell you that it will cost you money if you try and challenge one of these fines? Yet Article 15 on the Covenant on Civil and Political Rights makes it very clear that a heavier penalty than the one that was due at the time of the offence shall not be levied. Oh, what? Your RTA, your SDRO, your SPUR, your police force, they didn't tell you that? Oh, I wonder why not. What else haven't they told you for decades since they forced you to apply for a driver's licence? Okay, have a read of this book. There's a link to it in the description, and start getting your head around some of the other many, many lies that you've been told for years and decades now. Okay? On our website, on the Know Your Rights Group website, it says very clearly, those who don't know their rights have none. If you don't know what your rights are because they haven't been taught to you, how can you possibly do anything about reinstating them or restoring them? Now, there's another very important point on our homepage, and it's the distinction that's laid out there, and it says, you know what you know. Okay, you know the stuff that you know. Okay, you also know what you don't know. You might not know about rocket science or gardening or how to, boil an egg, whatever. So you know what you know what you don't know. But it's what you don't know that you don't know. That's the stuff that's really hurting you, the stuff that you're blissfully unaware of. Okay, and that is what our website, okay, and that is what our ebook is all about. Exposing to you the stuff that you didn't even know that you didn't know. Do you know the ATO is not a legal entity? Do you know that no one can force you to complete an income tax return without compensating you for the time required to do so? Do you know that the ATO can't even define the word income despite an Income Tax Assessment Act being this thick? Okay? Do you know that local councils are in fact mentioned in the Commonwealth Constitution? They are, despite what others will tell you, but they're listed as a Department of Estate, which means they can't make bylaws and things like that. Do you know you most assuredly can challenge, and most people are challenging, these so-called mandatory vaccination laws? Did you know that? There's a chapter in here on that. Do you know the difference between you, a living, breathing, flesh and blood man or woman, and the corporate person that the government's created without you knowing it? Do you understand the difference between the live birth record and the birth certificate? Do you understand the straw man concept? All of these things that you probably didn't know that you didn't know are all explained in this ebook. Again, there's a link in the description. Grab a copy or at least read our website and find out the basics. Okay, and then finally, the Bank Secrets Revealed book. Okay, do you know that the banks actually commit a number of offences, including insurance fraud, every single time they force you to sign up and pay for lender's mortgage insurance through one of their own in-house insurance brokers? Okay, do you know that they never actually give you a PDS, a product disclosure statement, for your lender's mortgage insurance? That's insurance fraud. Did you know that the banks will sell off your credit card debts and your personal loans if you don't pay them for cents in the dollar to debt collectors, who will then try and get a discounted amount off you, but that the banks have already accepted that lower amount, written off the debt and claimed any loss as a tax deduction? That means if you pay the debt collectors 1 cent more than what they paid for the debt, they, in turn with the banks, are engaging in a conspiracy to commit tax fraud because they're claiming a loss that didn't exist. Okay, these are just some of the things that you don't know. So please, grab these books. Now also, if you don't understand the difference between the books, we did a really intensive video that goes through the ins and outs of what each website covers, what each ebook covers, so that you don't get confused. It's called Clarification on Our Information and How We Can Help You. So look it up in the video section on our Facebook page or go to our YouTube channel and find that video. But please, I really want you to start thinking about how many different ways you've actually been lied to and deceived, not just during this whole coronavirus scam, this pandemic, okay, but over the years and decades before that, okay? And then, please, once you start to get an inkling of that, go to these websites, grab these books, okay, and start getting your head around the truth, okay, because that's what we're here for. Okay, we're here to give you this information. But you know what else we're here for? We're here to clear up so much of the misinformation. There's so many people out there on Facebook and YouTube and websites that are giving complete misinformation. Okay, we are here to clear up the facts from fiction. Okay, to get rid of the misinformation as much as we are to give you good, clear, honest, tried, tested, proven information. Okay, and for a lot of people who've been studying this for a while, you'll understand the true value of that. So as always, as we come into another weekend, I urge you all to please get informed, get fired up, and get proactive. Thanks, and we'll talk to you all again on Sunday night.